Hey guys, it's Woodie Landeros, host of Shut Up and Fail. Today I am here with Shawn Artero.
Yo.
Okay, Shawn, go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you do on a day-to-day basis, right?
On a day-to-day basis. Well, first of all, I think my first role is artist management. That's what I do full time. That's like my job. That's how I make a living. And then second is like founder of my media company, Artero Projects, founder of community brands like Team Humble Hands, Portraits LA, and but mostly Artero Projects and artist management. As far as my day-to-day, that usually goes by like, if we're talking literally, I'm like, wake up, walk my poodle, check my emails, and yeah, and then I probably meet up with Sabrina around like 12 to 1 p.m. every day. It's like an everyday thing. So yeah, that's kind of how my day goes.
Dude, that sounds like my day with my little. I have two dachshunds, a long-haired dachshund and then a
Dude, dogs are
short-haired
just
dachshund.
awesome. Like
Bro.
they make
Yeah.
life 10 times better.
It's like the first thing I see when I wake up and I go to sleep. Like the
Yeah.
little dude is right here.
Yeah,
It's
My
crazy.
dog is not cuddly at all, dude.
No?
He's like me. He likes his space.
Oh yeah.
Which is it is what it is.
Who's you mentioned a name. You said Sabrina.
Sabrina. So Sabrina is an artist the artist that I manage. She's originally from New Zealand, but we're based out here in LA now.
Nice.
Or she's based out here in LA. now.
What does she do?
She does pop. It's like
Nice.
R&B pop. She has a very soulful, but very unique tone. So she can sing, but she also does pop music.
Nice.
So yeah.
Are most of your clients like pop?
I think now it is. Before it was very like urban. It was all in the rap, hip hop genre. But yeah, it's definitely turned into the pop world for me. I want to say like the last 3 years.
What do you think that is?
I think it just made sense for me. I think the campaigns I was doing in the hip hop world were very basic and it was very. I want to say it's just easy. It was very easy. But when it came down to pop, then you're talking about spending money and just being more strategic with everything. And I just love that. Like I definitely. I've always been a creative first, and then I want to say the last 3 years, it's turned to business. And I felt like that was a necessary step, and I've been enjoying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you had like a little bit of a challenge, and
Yeah.
a little bit, or I guess like a problem solving, sort of more like
Yeah.
problem solving scenarios.
No, absolutely. I mean, I was raised by a single mom, and I'm the oldest, so you kind of have to figure it out on your own, and then not only for yourself, but like so I can teach my brothers.
Yeah.
So even with everything, like I'm a self-taught photographer, videographer, editor, even management. Like I didn't go to school for it, and I do marketing. Marketing, I basically learned trial and error.
Yeah.
I tried to go to school for it, but I was just like, you're gonna make me make a website about a restaurant? Like,
Yeah. It doesn't
wanna-
apply, huh?
I don't want to do that.
Yeah. I tried going to school for like on and off maybe 3 years. Just going to go try
I'm
a
the
class
same-
and then
same-
go.
same.
And my problem is I'll challenge the person
Yeah.
and they don't want that. They just want you to sit there.
No,
And
I'm
so,
too
like,
quiet to challenge.
No, yeah.
I don't do that.
No.
I just keep in my lane and shut up. Like
Yeah.
that's it.
Well, that's good. You're on this podcast. Shut up and
Shut
fail,
up
right?
and fail. That's all I
Now-
did. Yeah.
What you mentioned your family. You said you're a family of 3?
Yeah, my mom and my 2 younger brothers. That's kind of it. And then my dad, obviously, yeah, he's in my
Nice.
life, but it's not. It's one of those situations where like I don't think I talked to him for like 10 years. So it's just like, and it was in my vital years.
Yeah.
But me and him are good now, and yeah, we talk now. But it's not the relationship that I think is what it usually is.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah.
So you have to deal with that the older brother like role model syndrome, right? Like
No, absolutely.
you have to be that role model. I'm the oldest of 5.
Yeah.
And so I know that everything I do, I feel like it has a little bit of pressure.
The oldest of 5?
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
And my parents have been together since they were like 15 years old.
Yeah.
Dude, they're I think like 25 years in.
Damn.
It's probably more, but it
Yeah.
might be more. Sorry,
Yeah.
mom and dad.
All right.
I don't know the history of this,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a family of 5, so a pretty
Yeah.
chaotic household. I'm not gonna lie, we present pretty well in public, but it's pretty chaotic.
No, like
It gets wild.
and my even my family is a very like church family.
Yeah.
Like we're very Christian,
Hmm.
and my mom and my the middle one, they work for the church. Like my mom started a child center for the church. My brother is like he's like the director for the kids program
Yeah.
there. I think it's called Kid Nation. And the church is South Hills in Burbank, and but behind scene, at that church, everybody loves us. Like, I definitely feel like a celebrity every time I go.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, like we have crazy issues. Like,
Yeah.
it's just it's family. That's what comes with it, you know. But we're very close. We're super close. So yeah, no, it's amazing.
Yeah. That family, that chaoticness.
Yeah,
I think what I really enjoyed by having 5 of them was to be able to. It was like my first managing job, right?
That's why I'm a manager.
Yeah, like
That's why
straight
I'm
up,
a
like I
manager.
was like, okay, you tackle that room, like you clean
Yeah.
that room, you do this, you do that. And I was able
Yeah.
to like form that first little like team.
Yeah, it's
So,
like having kids of your own, I
Yeah.
feel. Or at least that's how I make it
dude,
sound.
now that I'm out of the house, I still feel that like obligation to go back and be like,
Yeah.
okay, where are you at? Like,
I'm the same, even with my little brother, like even my little brother and I want to say we fight around like the last 2 years the last 2 years. But it's because he's 20 now. And I taught him everything, like literally everything. I co-signed his car. I'm the reason why I got his job. Oh, everything, like because I set him up. Because
Yeah.
nobody set me up, so I was like, I need to set him up.
yeah, that's like, dude, that's like exactly like me. Because
Yeah.
my brother, he's a professional boxer and everything,
Yeah.
and he's 18 years old right now.
Yeah.
And so probably like the age gap is the same between you and your brother.
Yeah.
And I just signed him up for college. But I was like, okay, you got to make sure you have
Yeah.
this. You got to make sure you're on the deadlines. I'm like, it's really important. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm over here on his game because I felt like when I was doing it, I was like the first one kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. You
opening
messed up.
doors.
You like went everywhere.
Yeah.
And then now they get to that point, and you just tell them like, these are the right steps.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time.
Don't look at that.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do this.
Exactly.
Just do this. And like, you're like preaching to yourself, right? Like,
Yeah,
'cause
no,
at the same
100%.
time, like some of the things I'm not even doing, and I'm like, you have to do that.
Yeah,
Like-
absolutely.
Like, put money aside
Yeah.
and do this and do that. I'm
Yeah, like my brother moved out of the house and everything, and he's only 20 years old, and it's very hard for me because I still feel and I think that's why I'm in management, because I love developing somebody,
yeah.
and I've been developing my brothers. I mean, the middle one has kind of developed himself. Like he's like me, but 10 times better. He's a leader. He's a leader, bro. Like I play Call of Duty with him, and I hate that he's the leader of the group. Like it's crazy.
always the leader.
But the little one is like my mini-me, and I still feel like there's so much development that he needs to do. But at the same time, at the age he moved out, I moved out. And I told him, like, yo, I understand you want your freedom because I did it. But like, because I did it, I'm telling you not to. Like,
Yeah.
because there's certain things that, I shouldn't have done, or I did it the wrong way. I wasn't as intentional or thoughtful about how it would affect everybody else.
Yeah.
And he kind of did the same thing. But so I'm not mad at it, but yeah, it's just
You
like
could probably
developing.
come up with a list of all the fails that you
Absolutely. Yeah.
gone across that you're probably like, just don't cross that bridge. Don't do it.
But sometimes, like, you just kind of have to let it.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know
that's what built you.
Yeah, no,
Right?
it's true. But it's like, as the older brother, maybe this might be helpful to you, because I love talking to this older sibling.
Yeah.
I'm learning that I can't have expectations for my family. Like, which kind of sucks, because to me, I'm like, I'm all about my last name, Artero Projects, everything. Because I want to build a legacy. I don't feel like we came here, my grandparents came here, and they gave us the opportunity. So I feel guilty knowing that this is being taken just like not serious.
Yeah, it's a baton pass of that legacy.
Absolutely. And that's why I want to kill it. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I'm so motivated. But yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought, to be honest with you.
No, it's all good. No, yeah, I really like seeing what's in the back end of like
Yeah.
creatives because I don't know if you've seen this documentary or not, and I can't even
Yeah.
name what it's called, but it's pretty much breaking down creativity
Yeah.
and how it's really just if one person does like multiple things,
Yeah.
then creativity is the ability to combine two things into one.
Mm.
So you learning photography and video and all these different
Yeah.
things, probably even graphic design and
Yeah.
everything, right? Like we just probably
Everything.
dial in everything.
Yeah.
It's gonna help you problem solve more. So even like having that sort of like being the older brother
Yeah.
and then having photography, maybe something connects there,
Absolutely.
and then that's what creates like a
It's
creative
dealing
piece
with
right
people.
there.
Yeah, it's all about dealing with people, and like I think in any like you said, video, photo, even music.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of it is having the other person trust you. Like it is talent. It's about quality, and people will if somebody reaches out to you, it's because they get your quality, and they're like, okay, I'm fine if that was mine.
Mm-hmm.
The next step is, can I trust this person? So that's all I really care about. And I think obviously being the oldest,
Mm-hmm.
you try to build that trust with your
Yeah.
family, and I think those are the first like learning steps.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, kind of going back, it was expectations that I really wanted to tell you because
Yeah.
your older sibling was. I just feel like when you put expectations for the younger siblings, you you get heartbroken very quick because they start doing steps that you took that you know they should learn from. But so you just gotta let them do it.
I
Like,
think that's my day right now.
oh really?
Yeah.
Damn. No, you just
Yeah,
got.
that's perfect.
You have to let it go. And I learned it the hard way because I carry it, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a competitive person, so like I just want my family to win. So when he gets off track, I'm like, yo, why isn't the team unified right now? Like I don't understand.
So what do you do like when let's say like your younger brother
Yeah.
I'm saying let's say
Yeah, let's say.
let's say your younger brother is kind of not acting in line or like he was doing something and now
Yeah.
he's like paused and he's getting stuck in something else.
Yeah.
Do you would you say like would you go into it and try to block it off or would you advise him or would you let him go through it like is it
It's a little
is
bit
it
of
throw the
everything.
raft?
I do like everything good and everything bad.
Yeah.
I do everything good as far as like I'm there every time he needs me, but I also do everything bad as in like, oh, okay, you don't want to listen to me? Well, I'm gonna take away everything that I helped you build, like, which is it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just more so like,
that's pretty harsh.
I feel yeah, and
No, but that's good.
And I think it's one or the other, and that's just I don't know, that's just how I was raised. I just have a team mentality. If you're not on my team, it's like okay, you're not on my team, bro. Why am I gonna help you?
Yeah, that reminds me of my mother.
Yeah.
When we would have our cell phones, and if we wouldn't pay attention, then
Yeah.
oh, so you don't oh, okay. Well, let me see the phone the phone bill that I pay for. Let me see this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, so you don't really need DirecTV.
Yeah.
At that
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Or now it'll probably be you don't need Netflix.
Yeah. Then we start understanding our parents more
And
now.
it's like okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But you know what? Later on, you look back and you say like, "Thank you so much." Like I had a phone call with my mom yesterday, and I just
Yeah.
told her like, "Thank you so much
Yeah.
for like just being hard on me
Yeah.
and making me sit down and try to understand things. Like just talking to me through all these different like problems that I was having when I was younger."
Having the patience with you
Yeah.
and everything.
Like
And
I don't know where to find that patience. Like even with my brothers,
oh
I'm like,
man,
because I just
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
just get.
And it's yeah, no, family is just crazy, bro. It's
Yeah.
just it's a whole nother monster.
Yeah.
But it comes into like our skills,
Yeah.
and working with people in business.
Yeah, let's try to bring it back.
Yeah, right. This was the family
this is a
part.
podcast about family. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's get into so you manage artists,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah, that's where I started. That's where
Mm-hmm.
which is how I heard about you was Will.
Yeah.
I started with Will. We went to high school together at Fulton, and I just remember him like he made this little EP called Track Bangers with his friend Praise.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave it to me. He's like, I'm selling these for $5. So I was like, yeah, for sure, I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I listened to it. The next day, he comes up to me and he's like, "What'd you think?" I was like, "Honestly, bro, it's like trash. Like I don't like it." And he was like, "Okay, all good. Like I appreciate your honesty." And we left it there. And then I moved schools for the last 2 years. And then me and him always kept in touch through like MySpace. And I saw him do his thing. And then he put a song out on MySpace. And I just hit him up after we were done with high school. I was like, "Yo, bro, like that's dope. Like that's actually really sick." And I loved hearing the growth, and then
Mm-hmm.
me and him just started chopping it up more. He invited me to the studio, and little by little, he was just like, "Yo, do you want to like start something? Do you want to manage me?"
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we started Gold Mines, you
That's
know.
awesome.
And that's how I went into management. And then from management, I guess if we're moving forward from that, we started Gold Mines, and we needed like content. Rocking the Gold Mines merch.
Right there. If you
That's
guys are
dope.
watching the video
I feel
version,
guilty because
gold
I have
mines, gold
no gold
mines.
mines. Like
Hey.
I have a shirt and a hat, like, but
Yeah.
I just didn't bring it. Um, yeah, so we needed content, and I just remember one day we had a friend. He was younger than us by like 2 years, and he was gonna shoot the music video for Will and my homie Praise, and we go out. I don't know. We drive out like an hour and a half away to shoot this music video. And this guy was like amateur, but obviously we're in the beginning stages ourselves, so we understood. And we shoot the video. Next day, we were hitting up like, "Yo, can we get the footage?" And he's like, "Yo, I have some bad news. I lost the footage." And I was just like, "Wait, what?" Like, it was so upsetting, bro. But I'm the type of person where like, you know what? This guy, like, I can do it. Like, I can do
Mm-hmm.
it. That's just my mentality. I can pick anything up. Like, I'm a very curious person. I
Mm-hmm.
can pick everything up.
Yeah. That's a gift and a curse, man.
It is.
It's a gift
It
and a
is because
curse.
you don't really. I think right now I'm in a place where I'm trying to. There's like two sides to things, which is like mastery, which is of one thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then the grit of just figuring it all out.
Yeah.
And I think I love that I started with the grit, but now I need to I need to align more with mastery.
Mm-hmm.
I need to pick a few things. Because don't get me wrong, like I'm amazing at photography, like I do it,
Mm-hmm.
and I love my artist management, like I do that very well, and I carry myself very well. But I need to like I just need to master things
Mm-hmm.
more, and I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
But
And
at
that's
the
really important to
yeah
be aware of that
yeah
because a lot of people they have like really crappy projects
yeah
and they think that they're like
yeah. But sometimes you gotta do those.
gods or
Yeah.
goddesses, you know?
No, I'm that dude.
Yeah,
I'm that
yeah,
same guy. I'm very like confident about everything. I'm
yeah,
confident about how much I suck. Like
yeah.
sometimes, you know. But it is what it is. And during that time, yeah, I was like, I'm gonna buy a camera. I'll edit the video. And like I said, you could probably find some of my music videos on YouTube that are like just absolutely trash. But I started, and then that led to, the Gold Mines was its thing of like 5 members, not including me, and I kind of just took the management role. I didn't manage everybody individually. I
Mm-hmm.
managed Gold Mines because it was something that Will and I started.
Yeah. Something
Um,
that you were passionate about,
and
right?
I was just I just loved it. I've always loved music. Like I just remember when my dad was like when we were living with my dad, he was like low key a curator back in the day, like when there was MTV and they played music videos all day.
Mm-hmm.
He would record all the music videos on tapes and then take them to the gym and play them at the gym on a VCR.
Mm.
So we would have a ton of tapes of music videos, and that's how I like loved music. He was a producer too,
Wow.
and he never really like put it all into the music. He bought a
Mm-hmm.
lot of gear, but he didn't really put it.
Mm.
But that's kind of how I've always been aligned with music.
Yeah.
And then even my regular jobs have been around. I did like event security, like I worked. I've done security for like celebrities. I've done security for like places in Calabasas, like where the Kardashians live.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, so everything's always been aligned around music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll go back to the security thing
Okay.
later on because I really do want to talk about it. But I wanted to go back to what you said about mastery.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what a lot of artists are missing, and I really want to talk about like so. Where do you like gather your information really for the mastery? Like are you thinking like college when you're talking about mastery?
No.
Are you thinking about like YouTube videos or
Yeah.
going out and doing things? Like what do you
Yeah, I
what
think
do
it's
you
just
mean by mastery?
creating projects, like just creating as much projects, learning, like failing.
Mm-hmm.
Like just failing. Like I think it's like I just shut up and fail. Like that's a momentum builder.
Mm-hmm.
That phrase is like I used to say that to myself all the time. Like I used to, I don't know. I guess all of my stuff in the beginning obviously sucked, so I was fine with it and I was aware of it. But I just knew like the more I did, the more big moments I created, the more bigger moments would come.
Yeah.
And excuse me, I just as far as like it just created momentum. Sometimes like
Yeah.
I fell quick, like I know I'm about to fail, and I think the thing about being younger is like you don't want to fail, so you'll kind of extend the time of like I'm about to fail, but I can do this before, and you extend this long time to get one fail. And then I think as we get older, we learn like the faster I can fail, the faster I can move on to the next thing. And the more fails that I get, the more momentum I'm building. And so that's why now, like, I'm fine with like having a sucky project or getting into something and having a sucky project.
Yeah.
Or it is like, I just like to create and I like to collaborate. I like to build. But I can also tell when I know something's going to be crappy and I just say, I don't want to be involved in that, you know?
Yeah, I like how you said momentum, because when I think about failures and like shorting down that distance,
Yeah.
I think about like going on to the next one and just having it better and better and better. But I never really thought about the time frame of it,
Yeah.
which
We fight that
that's
a
really
lot.
interesting.
We fight it so much.
Yeah,
Like,
because you do put in like that procrastination and just say
yeah,
like,
and you extend it.
I'm gonna get to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I
No.
remember doing like design and then just like creating something and then throwing it away and then starting the next one and then
Yeah.
creating something, maybe like a fake company, and then going away, like
Yeah.
logo design and building
Yeah.
it. And it takes like 100 different tries until you actually like one.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
like if you just are stuck on the first one and then are like, yeah, I'll get to it, I'll get to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's like the 10,000 hours thing. You, like, try to get through it. Don't get stuck on the specific hour and like really beating it up because you want to win. Like, I mean, and it's not like I fully understand that 100% either, because like I'm still the type of person where, like I said, I'm very competitive. Like, I hate taking L's. Like, if
Yeah.
I can do anything to get the dub, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But I also know like it's like a marathon. Like, it's just a marathon. So I can, if I know like getting to a W, I have to lose real quick, then I'll just take the L, and it is what it is. It's part of growth, and yeah.
Yeah. So taking that L, I wanted to talk about a failure that
Yeah.
you went through in the you had sent me an email. And by the way, I want to make sure that everybody knows this, because some people are like, why aren't I on the podcast? And why?
Yeah.
Because they write like on the email, I want to be on the podcast, period. Like, can you explain why that's wrong? Like,
Yeah.
I know why it's wrong. And like,
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, you're putting all this effort. Like, yo, you have a whole setup here, and why would you want to bring somebody that won't even put it, like, the effort you're putting into an email? That's why I know I hit you a few days after than we originally talked, because I was like, I need to sit down and write this. I can't just like super quickly send you an email like, hey, you said
Yeah.
yes, so what's the date? Like, no, I wanted to like get in depth. So
and
that
that's
you
how I
know.
was taking it. Like at first when I was creating it, I just wanted like anybody. It was like, yeah, you
Yeah.
go, you're next, and like
Yeah.
you're online. And
Yeah.
But now I know like I have to really find the people that are actually going to help other people, like another person that's going to be doing managing or doing photography or doing all these things that you're doing. Like, I want to make sure that they see a story that really is able to move them.
Absolutely, yeah. And you have. I think the last episode I saw was the brand one, and even though it was a very chill vibe, it's very informative. You know, it was cool.
Yeah.
So, and I was able to watch the whole thing without like feeling like, well, you know, when is this gonna be over? Which is, I feel like 30-minute episodes are very. It could be long, but I mean, not for me, because I watch like Joe Rogan podcasts at like 3 hours.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah. No,
Yeah, it's interesting because it was like before, when I was just letting on anybody, the view time was maybe like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like average on YouTube. And then whenever I started like looking through and finding the right people, it really jumped to almost like 20, 30 minutes.
That's insane.
It's
Yeah.
like the view time. Like I'm in awe all the time.
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
always
the
so
quality-
grateful for people.
Quality
actually,
time
like,
of people that you
like,
have on. Like,
we got a little homie in here.
yeah.
We got a little homie. If you guys don't see, if you guys are watching on video, we're fighting like a little fly right there. Like, get out of the way.
It is. Yeah.
Cool. Leave. Okay, back to it. I'm sorry.
You're
I
good,
just
man,
had to
you're good.
address it because I know we were kind of ignoring it.
Oh,
It was
right.
like landing. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I beat you on that one. I was trying to wait for somebody else to say it.
Yeah. It was like a while.
Yeah.
It's our mascot.
Yeah.
No. So you were doing security management. That's where it kind of confused me in the email, and I really wanted to dive into that.
Well, that was my 9 to 5. That was like, I mean, I did every 9 to 5. I was a server. I worked at Little Caesars. I worked at the theaters. I did everything. But my last one was security. I did
Yeah.
event security. I did it for I want to say like a bunch of festivals, music festivals,
Mhm.
and then it turned into like a housing thing. Like then I stayed at like in Calabasas. I was like the gate security for 3 years,
Yeah.
and it was awesome. Like it was awesome because obviously you have like you don't have clients, you have guests, and it's the
Mhm.
same guests, and then they get to know you and they start getting feeling invested with you.
Mhm.
So yeah, it
Did you
was.
feel passionate about that job? Like, is that, or would you say that it was like just bill payer?
Uh, it's a bill payer for sure,
Mhm.
but I'm passionate about people.
Yeah.
I like talking to people, and that had the best like. It's like imagine having successful people drive in and out every day,
Mhm.
and you get like some of them will just be whatever, and then some
Mhm.
had a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Even like when I quit that job, it was very difficult for me because I kept having to ask for days off because I was being flown out to Nashville, and I was like and then I had to say no to some flights because I was like I have a 9 to 5 that I've been calling out too many times where I'm gonna get paid $50, but then this she's paying me 500. And it
Mhm.
was not even about the job. It was like I was scared to lose the stability
Mhm.
when like I mean it was never really stable. And it was a
Yeah.
good job. Like it was fun. Like Christmas, I always got gifts from all of them and everybody there super successful. So like the gifts were nice.
Yeah.
Um, but I just decided one day I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna let it be and I need to take a chance on myself because
Mhm.
my mentor, my good friend, Sham Sakpa said, he had a moment with me where he was like, "Bro, what are you doing? Like you're dope, and you're not even like giving yourself the opportunity." And
Mhm.
it was like I really out of everybody I talked to, obviously he's my mentor, so like I really take his opinion under consideration, like or take it very highly.
Yeah.
So when he told me that, like I really had to put like thought into it, and like it hit me, and I quit my job a month later.
Wow.
Like it took somebody to recognize it in me, and me take action.
Yeah.
So that's why now, anytime I see anybody that I know like they have potential, that they're kind of like lagging on,
Mhm.
I'm always very quick to acknowledge it because I think a lot of times since we don't acknowledge it ourselves, sometimes it just takes somebody else, like an outside person, someone you're close with or someone you don't really talk
Yeah.
to if they acknowledge you and they tell you, like they speak life into you, like
Mhm.
it'll cause action.
Yeah.
And that's what he did for me. So I just continue it all the time. But when he did that and I quit my job, every single person told me I was doing the wrong thing. Like
Wow.
it was so bad. Like even to the point where like I ended up seeing my dad. I hadn't seen him in a few years, and that's the first thing he told me. Like, why are you doing that? Like I was just like, what the hell,
Mhm.
dude? Like, how are you
Yeah.
gonna even have an
After you
opinion?
took that leap of faith, now
Yeah,
everybody's saying like,
exactly. It took a while, except for my mom. Like, my mom was very hard on me in the beginning stages because I was like, I'm gonna pursue music. I'm gonna do this. She's like, no, you gotta go to college. Like, what are you doing? Like, I ended up moving out because my relationship with her was so bad. It was like, yo, you're against my vision, and that I can't. I had to fight for my vision. Like, I fought every single person I knew
mhm.
to like get to where I am now. So that's why I'm so protective of it. So when I took that leap, it was like the second time I was like protecting my vision, and
Mhm.
I moved on. And the only people that were kind of like supportive of it was the guests that I worked for,
Mm.
like because they know that's a necessary step.
Yeah.
And even one of them was like, you know, on my last day, he was like, "Yo, it's gonna be very difficult. I just need you to know that it's gonna be very difficult, but you're on the right path, and just don't give up and keep going." And then he had like a bent like the nicest car there.
Mhm.
Yeah, and he's like, "Come over here." I get out of the gate, and he takes out an envelope and he gives it to me, and he's like, "Take this. This is just a gift to help you get by." And I was like, "Oh no, you don't. It's all good. Like I appreciate it. Like your words are enough." He's
Mhm.
like, "No, trust me. Take this. Just don't tell my wife." And I was like, "I appreciate it." And he drives off, and I go back in, I open the envelope, and it's like $2,000 in
No way.
cash. I was like, bro, I started crying because I was just like, this dude that like just passes by, and I just say hi to, he believed in me that much to like not only give me those words of encouragement, but then also like help me with the beginning stages of it.
Mhm.
It was it was like it's one of those moments where you're like, damn, God is really in my life, and I know I'm doing this is the right moment. This is the right thing to do,
Yeah.
because that was an affirmation for that or for me, you
Yeah.
know, or confirmation. And yeah, and those first 2 months were like hard. Like I lost everything. Like my plan was like the thing about the entrepreneur game is like you can plan as much as you want, but it doesn't really matter. And I think it kind of it aligns with my faith too, because it's like, you know, how you plan all these things, and you put it in your head how you want your life to be and your relationships to be. But if it's not aligned, or at least for me, if it's not aligned with what I feel God wants for me, it's not gonna work. And I think that's when my life took a super turn. I was like helping an artist called Dylan Dunlap, and everything was going great. Like there was a new platform that we were killing it. We're like top 10. And I just had a moment of like, I was just like, I was walking in my car in West Hollywood. Like it was like a 10-minute walk because parking is like terrible there. And I was just like, you know what? Like, all right, I'm done with what I want. Like I'm good. God, I'm just gonna do whatever you want from me,
Yeah.
God. And whatever that is, I'll do it. And after that, like I did everything I wanted plus times 10, like things I didn't imagine. And it was crazy. And I think anytime I feel like I'm out of line or I'm out of where I need to be, if I feel like I'm in a dark place, it's because my relationship with God is not right. Or I'm putting myself first.
Yeah.
You know, and every time you put yourself first, it's like everything is about you. And like when when everything is about you, it gets very like lonely, and it's like yeah, you don't get that much satisfaction from it. So that's why like my being a manager, I love it because I'm constantly kind of helping somebody else.
Yeah.
So, and I always say that like I love being a number two. Like that's my role. Like I love playing that role, a number two.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really inspiring for me.
Yeah.
Seriously, because
Yeah.
like when I first started doing my vlogs and started doing all this stuff, I really was being like, I want to be this person, right? Like I was like, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
a travel vlogger and I'm gonna do all this.
Yeah.
Dude, I had this journey really set out that I was gonna be like this figure. And as it progressed, I started realizing that people were saying, like, oh, I saw your video and it did something for me.
Yeah.
And I got more satisfaction out of those videos than the ones that I was just having fun and they're like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
And it was like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then when I started doing this podcast, like I really want to make it all about the other person
Yeah.
that's here, really about the guests, and then
Yeah.
about the people that are watching,
Yeah.
so that they can grab something too. And
Yeah.
and like, really, this is my school. Like
Yeah.
I'm not paying for college, but I sure am grabbing information.
Yeah,
Just like,
you're doing a cheat code, bro. Like
Yeah.
you're getting there. It's like reading a book.
Mhm.
It's the same thing as talking to somebody, especially talking to somebody with experience. It's a super cheat code. It's like getting next to the people that you kind of want to be like. So yeah, no, I mean, that's funny because like I tried to do a podcast before and I did like 4 episodes and never put it out. But seeing you do your stuff, like I can see where you're getting the value from.
yeah,
So
like
it's
I
like-
love doing this, man.
Yeah.
Like it was so hard for me to do vlogs because I was like, I'm not interesting. I'm not this person. Like
yeah.
I don't even want people to look at it. Really,
Yeah.
why I was doing the vlogs was so that my kids can watch me.
Right.
And that's kind of weird to say out loud, but
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what really
yeah.
why I wanted to do the vlog. But then I started feeling very like selfish, and I
Exactly.
know for me, like even just being, you can bring it back to the 5 kids, or you can bring it back to just me being like a dance teacher. I always like to give back to the other person,
Yeah.
and just know that it's okay if nothing comes out of it.
Yeah.
But most of the time, something does come out
No,
of
it does, because it's not about you. It's like
Yeah.
you're putting there's impact behind you now. It's not just like impact for yourself.
Yeah.
Impact for yourself, like there's not much satisfaction to that, and if it's kind of selfish. It's a selfish thing to want to help other people too, you know.
Yeah.
But like you get a positive result from it. So
Yeah, like I recently brought on 4 interns, and Eddie's behind the scenes, so I'll give him a little shout out, Eddie
Yeah.
Olvera. And my thing just with being able to train them and being able to show them what I know,
yeah,
really like has just been such an amazing experience.
Yeah,
Seeing
absolutely.
somebody else saying like, I didn't know that, and I'm like, how didn't you know that? But like I've
Yeah.
already been doing this since like 2000 probably
Mm.
11,
Yeah.
and just doing like video and showing them. So
Right.
so now like being able to show somebody else, like I'm seeing that they're creating things, and then now they have people under them
Yeah.
saying like, oh, Eddie just showed me this, and
Yeah.
like he's inspiring me, and then hopefully Eddie can do the same thing for
Yeah,
someone
absolutely.
else
Yeah,
because
you're building leaders,
hmm
or you're building people to continue. It's not a
yeah.
yeah, you're
If
extending
it
the
doesn't even
impact.
have to be me, like if Eddie inspires another person, that inspires another person, that
Yeah.
inspires another person,
Yeah.
like that's my ultimate dream. Like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness, like
Yeah.
for it to be just that tumbling effect of building up another creative,
Yeah.
because we need it.
Yeah, we need it, and it's low key fun.
Yeah,
Like
no, it is.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love working with people, and maybe it's just because I have siblings.
hmm
But I love that, and it's like I said, I love working in a team.
hmm
Like, so
When
this is a dope setup. Yeah.
when I so when I started training them and stuff, it was I felt like I was giving my time, like I needed to be paid for at first,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what am I doing here? And then like as the days go by, it's like, whoa, they're giving back so much to me too. Like we're feeding a whole
Mm.
nother thing.
Yeah.
And for me, like when I was first starting out, I was working in a desk job. I was working in
Mm.
a cubicle making like 200, 300 calls a day,
Yeah.
and just doing cold calls, cold calls, cold calls.
Damn.
Just some like death stuff. It's just
Yeah.
like, dude, like you're like, I'm done, dude. I'm so done with everything.
Right.
Nothing creative, because I actually got in my head early on that art doesn't make money.
Yeah.
And so like I just felt like, well, then I must just do business, only business.
Yeah.
And so I quit everything, and I was just doing just making cold calls. And then out of nowhere, like I met Rebecca, which is my girlfriend now,
Mm.
and she was just telling me like, all your stuff is so creative.
Yeah.
Like, where is it at? Why is it not out there? And like I was just showing her like pretty much like archive stuff and like
Yeah.
footage and like my old clothing line, Gold Kills, and all this different stuff. And she was like, where is it at? Like, why aren't you doing this for a living? Like it's possible.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why, but like other creatives really do need that person to tell you and to be able to say that like
It's like acknowledging it.
it's
Yeah.
possible, man. Just go do it.
Yeah.
And then after that, it took me about a month to just like breathe, and then I quit my job, and I've been doing that ever since, and I don't do anything else other than make videos.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy that when you're able to tell that to somebody else or help somebody else do
Yeah.
that, they're able to do it for
No, absolutely. It's an example. Like I remember even with Will, like I remember when I did it, he reached out to me and he was like, "Bro, I can't believe you did that. Like, it's making me want to do it." And then I saw him do it, and seeing what he's created, what he's made it to now, like I have a lot of friends that like obviously make money and are in good position, but I don't. I want, like, to me the most successful has been Will, because I've seen where he started, and obviously I started with him, but he's built this thing for himself, and it's so consistent, and it's all based off his talent, his mind, his personality, and it's like I feel like a proud bigger brother. I think he's a little older than me actually, but I feel like a proud brother. So yeah, it's very scary to jump and try to do what you love, but it's like why not?
Why wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Will is something. Just talking about Will for a second.
Yeah.
He's obsessed.
He's obsessed for sure.
Obsessed. I love that. I love that so much. I envy that. Sometimes it's really hard to deal with failures and deal with like pretty much making your own deadlines without having anybody else there.
Yeah.
Like, right. Because when you become an entrepreneur, that beautiful shiny word that everybody shines up and preps for you and saying that it's going to be all perfect and nice and you're going to have money, and dude,
Takes a while.
you're gonna prep and plan to cross, and you're gonna go through the crosswalk, and you're gonna get hit by a fucking plane. Like, that's what happens in entrepreneurship,
Exactly.
and you really have to be prepared to be able to take those. And I think Will is just, I mean, I'm kind of saying it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm kind of saying it because we're working on a project pretty soon.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty stoked that we're gonna be releasing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but going back to having that sort of failure, dude. Wait. I like skipped a whole section, and I want to go back to
Okay.
this dude gave you like $2,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a
Bro,
that's a whole nother level.
it was a God moment for me. It
Mm-hmm.
was like it's just like all these moments. Also, too, I'm very aware. Like
Yeah.
I like paying attention to everything,
Mm-hmm.
like unnecessary, like unknowingly.
Yeah.
You know, so when there's moments like that, and I do it to my friends all the time. Like my friend recently, she was like, "Man, I have this acting gig, and I'm a singer. I don't really want to go to it." And as soon as she told me that, I don't know why my instinctive thing to say was like, "No, you have to go.
Do it.
You
Yep.
have to go."
Yeah.
And then she goes the next day and she gets the gig the same day,
Wow.
which never happens in the acting world. You kind of have to wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they loved her. And I was like, yo, that's. And then she had this other opportunity that was on the same day. And I was like, yo, I mean, I'm not the type of person to tell you how to get your bread, but like one of those options was like a God sent option
Mm-hmm.
because it's very clear to me. Like to me, it's an easy decision. She was asking me
Yeah.
like, which one do you think I should do? I was like, yeah, what? I mean, in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna go with what God sent me compared to what I want,
Mm-hmm.
and she did, and like I know she feels like I'm losing money and this that, but you don't know where that's gonna take you. Usually, and it's different. She's an artist,
Yeah.
so she's like, is this acting? I don't know. I'm like, that's even better. That's like it's leading you to something
Mm-hmm.
that you're not used to. You're not
You
comfortable.
might meet a person, or you might see something,
Absolutely,
you might be exposed
absolutely,
by like the scenery, or
yeah.
something's gonna be able to spark you to keep on wanting to do
Exactly.
that.
So
It should be around it.
when that guy came up and he told me that and he gave me the envelope, it was just confirmation for me like this is exactly you're doing exactly what you needed to, even though everybody said don't do it.
Yeah.
Even though you're leaving a good job or and cut like stability.
Yeah, but what is really like a good job? Like honestly, like
Yeah. I don't
when
know.
you're getting paid hourly, I don't know, you can't. It's so tough because when you start connecting business and art, and I wanna we're gonna wrap it up pretty soon, but
Yeah.
I want to make sure that we talk about this too, is that like there's just so much more opportunities when you're actually dealing with like project by project, or you're
Yeah.
dealing with monthly contracts, or you're dealing with, as opposed to saying you're selling your hour.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
yeah.
are you stable now, like in the same
I'm s-
comparison to the
I'm
security job?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like it's not even comparable. It's one of those things where I'm like, I wake up, I'm like, what?
Would you
Like,
say it was double
oh, it's like I went times five,
times five?
times five,
Yeah.
and it's like, and it just, if anything, it just helps me. Like, yo, even if it was all taken away, I know I can start over without the fear.
Mm-hmm.
So it's amazing, but also too, like it. I think because I have had that I don't even want to say early success because it was like took me like 6 years to like
Yeah, it
have
takes
anything.
a long time, dude.
I definitely have to check because there was a point where like I was like, yo, I can make 10 grand a month. Like I know how to do that. I know how to do that. And when I did it 3 months in a row, I just realized like, yo, I was giving up so like I had to check myself. I was like, I learned this this thing where like now, like I had to I tattooed it on me and everything. I was like this thing about God over ambition. I was so like ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't know it was hurting me. I didn't know it was unhealthy. And like I'm an obsessive person too. Like I
Yeah.
admire that about him, but he has a very like good balance.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a time where like when I was making that type of money, I didn't have a balance. I was just obsessed. I was like, and it's one of those things where like you're celebrated for it. Like it's a sexy thing to be ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, yeah, I'm doing a good thing. I'm making money. Like I'm successful.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't happy. Like, and so it's one of those things where like yes, you can win, but there's also too like a certain process to winning, and keeping it stable and making sure you're not overly ambitious and
I
you're
get that.
kind of like you're doing it correctly and you're
Yeah.
doing it for the right reasons. And every time I do it for the wrong reasons, I may be getting paid well, but I'm like in a dark place.
Yeah.
So now I constantly have to check myself.
Yeah, you find me smiling because I always try to tell my brother about a situation when I went through and I got paid. I won't really get in details of the project, but I got paid $15,000 to do it.
Yeah.
And I was so depressed. And he does not get that, dude.
Oh my
and
God.
like I was just so I remember just sitting there and like, dude,
It's like a burden to you.
Man, it was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard. And I don't even know why, dude. I like looked at my
Right.
account and I was like,
Yeah.
I did it. And then I like sat there. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, was
I
it because
did
you
it.
did it by yourself?
It was because I gained the money for doing something in real estate
Okay.
and not off of my art.
Yeah.
And I expected to make that first check with one of my art pieces because I
Yeah.
had built up so much time and
Yeah.
so much like, I mean, I'm like this young and I'm saying that, but I built up all this like all these years of being able to do art and being able to master this, and then I go into something that I didn't really want to do and it made
Yeah.
it, and I was like, does that mean that all my art is
Yeah.
not worth that much and I just need to shut up and not shut up. I need to like just sit down in a desk and do what I'm being told.
Yeah.
And it kind of like worked against me for a while.
Yeah.
And I had to snap out of it and say like, okay, I'm leaving
Yeah.
it. And that's why it was really confusing for my family after I made that big check.
Yeah.
And then they were like,
It's-
now you're going to go make nothing?
It's a weird thing, especially when you come from a family that doesn't have money.
Yeah.
Because you experience like you're used to not have, you're used to like surviving.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start getting money, you get addicted to it because you're like, I don't need nobody, and I'm the type of person to take care of everybody. So I was spending money like I wasn't saving none of it.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you get money, then you realize like you get to it's a darker place when you're making more money and you're not happy than when you're not making any money but you're doing what you love. Like
yeah.
it's just it's
It's
surprisingly
an
a dark
unexplainable
place.
feeling, and if you
Yeah.
have not felt it, seriously go towards your passion and
Yeah,
like
100%.
in the cheesiest of all commercial ways, like run towards your passion and
Yeah.
like freaking fail. Like
Yeah.
shut up and like put your head down, learn
Yeah.
your craft, go and fail,
Take
and
your
like
time with it too.
and like know that success is not really gonna like be there for a while, right?
Yeah,
You have to really know what you're saying, really know what
yeah,
you're doing.
and it's in the
before you
little
even get
things
that
too. It's
success.
in the little things for sure.
Yeah.
Like we think like a $15,000 check, like damn,
Whoa.
that's a dub.
Yeah,
And then you got all this work you gotta do. Like
and then how long is the contract?
yeah.
You know, how much
now
did I have on your
now I
neck?
can't do a podcast for a month.
Yep.
Like, you know, that's kind of
All
what
that
that
all that
creates.
stuff.
Yeah.
So I think this podcast was a success.
Awesome.
I think this is probably
glad.
my favorite podcast.
Awesome.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm happy to hear.
Shawn, it was a blessing having you on here.
Yeah, likewise.
If you have any sort of social media or tags, go ahead and just like mention them out there before we close
Yeah.
it out.
Well, my company's website is Artero Projects, Artero Projects, and then my handle everywhere is Shawn J Artero, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And then and I wouldn't be a good manager if I didn't plug my artist. It's Sabrina Music, so Sabrina with a Y though. So Sabrina Music everywhere. Yeah.
Okay, you guys heard it. You guys were listening to Shut Up and Fail. You guys can check us out online, shutupandfail.com. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, do whatever, anything helps, seriously, because, you know, we're not making any money on this, and it's really just to give it back. So, like, one of those sub buttons, I'm, like, actually willing to ask you guys for that. So, thank you guys for listening. I'm glad you guys made it this far, by the way. If you guys are at this point, seriously, send me an email and then send me like some topic ideas or different questions you guys have, because the people that last like this long in the podcast, you already know who you are.
Right.
All right. Thanks, guys.